If you haven't achieved financial freedom yet, it may not be because you are lazy or incapable. It might be because you've been playing the wrong game. Most people are told from childhood that the path to wealth is simple: study hard, get a stable job, climb the corporate ladder, and save what's left at the end of the month. But the truth is, this formula rarely creates millionaires. Millionaires don't play like the majority. They follow silent, almost invisible habits that quietly compound into extraordinary results over time. And while they may not talk openly about these practices, their lives are shaped by them in profound ways. Think about it. How many people do you know who work extremely hard, yet they remain stuck financially? They sacrifice weekends. They give everything to their jobs, but at the end of the month, their accounts are nearly empty. Meanwhile, there are others who seem to move effortlessly, making financial progress without appearing to hustle endlessly. The difference is not talent, intelligence, or even luck. It is the set of wealth habits they live by. Habits that don't scream for attention, but operate quietly in the background, steering every decision, every opportunity, and every risk they take. One of the biggest illusions that society sells is that becoming rich is about chasing money directly. But millionaires know that money is never the starting point. Money is the byproduct of habits, decisions, and ways of thinking that compound daily. While most people focus on the short-term spending what they earn, chasing quick wins, those who reach millionaire status are guided by rules they internalize and repeat consistently, almost without anyone noticing. These rules are rarely written in textbooks or taught in schools because they often go against conventional advice. For example, while the average person sees money as something to be spent, a millionaire sees money as a soldier that must be deployed strategically. Each dollar is a worker, and its mission is to bring back more dollars. That subtle shift in perspective completely changes the way financial decisions are made. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" millionaires ask, "Will this purchase bring me more value, more growth, or more opportunity over time?" It's a habit of questioning, of reprogramming the mind, of seeing money as a tool rather than a reward. Another hidden truth is that millionaires don't separate their financial decisions from their daily routines. Habits of wealth are not just about investments or savings accounts. They are embedded in the way they use their time, the people they associate with, and even the energy they protect. While most people underestimate the cost of wasted time, millionaires obsess over it. Every wasted hour is money left on the table, every poor relationship is a silent tax, and every impulsive purchase is an opportunity stolen from the future. These are invisible losses that the majority never measure, but millionaires constantly guard against. Now let me ask you a question. When was the last time you stopped to examine your own daily habits with money? Do you know where each dollar is going? Do you know whether your time, your energy, and your decisions are compounding in your favor or against you? If not, then you're not playing the same game as those who build lasting wealth. In this video, we are going to uncover two of the most powerful hidden habits that millionaires don't share openly. They are habits so simple that they may surprise you. But once you see them clearly, you'll never look at money the same way again. These are not tricks, shortcuts, or get-rich-quick schemes. They are deep, enduring principles that can guide you toward financial freedom if you choose to adopt them. So stay with me until the end, because by the time we finish, you'll not only understand these hidden wealth habits, you'll also have the chance to decide whether you are ready to implement them in your own life. And if you are, then the path to your financial transformation might be closer than you think. Before we dive into the first secret, I want to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest money habit that keeps people stuck in financial struggle? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'll be reading them. The first hidden wealth habit that millionaires don't openly share is this. They prioritize ownership over consumption. While most people spend their lives working to earn a paycheck and then use that paycheck to buy things that lose value, millionaires obsess over acquiring assets, things that generate income, grow in value, or protect their wealth from inflation. This difference in focus may seem subtle, but it's one of the most powerful shifts in financial behavior you can make. Take a simple example. Imagine two friends who both earn the same salary. One spends his weekends shopping for the latest gadgets, upgrading his car every 2 years, and living in a house that eats up half of his income. The other chooses a modest lifestyle, driving a reliable but inexpensive car, and instead of buying more, he uses every extra dollar to purchase shares in strong companies, rental properties, or even small businesses. 10 years later, the first friend has a garage full of outdated electronics and debt hanging over his head. The second, he has assets that pay him every month, investments that grow in value, and opportunities that continue to multiply. Same income, different habits, radically different outcomes. This is why ownership is the quiet game of the wealthy. Millionaires rarely brag about every new gadget they own because their real focus is on owning things that create freedom. Stocks, real estate, intellectual property, businesses, these are invisible compared to flashy purchases, but they're the seeds of wealth that compound over decades. Even Warren Buffett has said many times, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Millionaires live by this principle daily, while the average person ignores it. The error most people make is simple. They confuse looking rich with being rich. They buy clothes, cars, and vacations to impress others, believing that status symbols equal success. But those things only drain resources. Millionaires, on the other hand, build real wealth quietly, often unnoticed. A neighbor might think they're just ordinary because they don't show off, but behind the scenes, their net worth grows every single year. This is why studies show that many millionaires live in average neighborhoods, drive average cars, and only later in life upgrade their lifestyle, when their assets alone can pay for it. So, what is the practical solution for you? Start by flipping the question you ask yourself when spending money. Instead of saying, "How can I spend this?" ask, "How can I own something that produces value from this?" Every time money enters your hands, imagine it as a seed. If you consume it, it's gone forever. But if you plant it into assets, it grows and eventually multiplies. This mindset shift is one of the simplest yet most powerful changes you can make to begin aligning your behavior with the wealthy. Consider a real-world example. In the 1990s, Jeff Bezos could have chosen to live comfortably with his Wall Street salary. Instead, he funneled his savings into an idea that became Amazon. Elon Musk did the same with his PayPal earnings, pouring them into SpaceX and Tesla. These men didn't just consume, they invested in ownership. And while not everyone will create a global empire, the same principle applies on a smaller scale. Buy shares of companies you believe in. Purchase rental properties that generate cash flow. Even starting a side business counts as ownership. The key is to build something that keeps paying you long after the initial effort. Now, let me ask you, are you spending your life working for things that disappear? Or are you building assets that can work for you? The answer to that question may determine whether you stay trapped in financial stress or move toward lasting freedom. As we move into the next hidden wealth habit, keep this truth in mind. Millionaires don't think in terms of today's comfort, they think in terms of tomorrow's ownership. That single distinction is what sets them apart. The second hidden wealth habit that millionaires rarely reveal is their obsession with delayed gratification. While most people crave immediate comfort, millionaires have trained themselves to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain. This isn't just about saving money. It's about rewiring the way they approach every decision in life. To them, every dollar, every hour, and every ounce of energy is measured against the future it can create, not just the present it can satisfy. Think of it this way. The average person sees money as something to use today. They get a bonus at work and immediately think about a new phone, a weekend trip, or an expensive dinner. The millionaire, however, looks at that same bonus and asks, if I wait, if I invest, what could this become 5 years from now? That single question separates those who stay stuck from those who build lasting wealth. One of the clearest examples of this comes from the classic marshmallow experiment, where children were offered one marshmallow immediately or two marshmallows if they waited. Decades later, researchers found that those who waited, the ones who could delay gratification, tended to achieve greater success in life. Millionaires live this principle daily. They're not seduced by the small rewards of now because they are focused on the massive rewards of later. Here's the mistake most people make. They believe waiting means deprivation. They think, if I don't enjoy it now, I'll miss my chance. But millionaires don't see it that way. To them, waiting isn't sacrifice, it's strategy. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow into a tree that produces fruit for years. Every dollar invested instead of spent is another seed. Every opportunity protected instead of wasted is another branch of the tree. Over time, the compound effect transforms these small, patient decisions into massive results. Let's put this into perspective with a real financial example. Suppose two friends each have $1,000. The first spends it on a new TV. The second invests it into an index fund, earning an average of 8% annually. In 20 years, that $1,000 grows to nearly $5,000. Extend it to 30 years and it becomes over $10,000. That's the power of patience. Now imagine this, repeated not once, but hundreds of times across a lifetime. That's how millionaires create wealth invisibly. It's not luck, it's discipline. Consider also the lives of some of the world's wealthiest individuals. Warren Buffett, for instance, built his fortune not by chasing trends, but by letting time do the heavy lifting. He often says his favorite holding period is forever. Jeff Bezos famously reinvested Amazon's profits for years, delaying massive personal rewards because he knew the long-term potential was far greater. Their patience was not weakness. It was their ultimate weapon. So, what's the practical step for you? Train yourself to pause before every financial decision. Ask, if I wait, what could this become? If I invest, what future will this create? Even delaying gratification in small areas, skipping the coffee you don't need, avoiding impulse buys, resisting unnecessary upgrades, can free up resources to be redirected into investments that grow. Over time, these small acts of patience stack up, building a financial foundation far stronger than you imagined. Now, let me turn the question to you. How often are you trading your future freedom for present comfort? How many times have you chosen the smaller reward today and unknowingly stolen from your tomorrow? If you're honest, you might realize that your financial future depends less on your income and more on your patience. As we prepare to close this video, remember, millionaires are not playing the same game as everyone else. While the majority chase instant gratification, they embrace delayed gratification. That's why, when time passes, the gap between the two becomes massive. And in the conclusion, we'll tie these hidden habits together and see how you can start applying them to rewrite your own financial story. We've now uncovered two of the most powerful hidden wealth habits that millionaires live by, but rarely share openly. First, the habit of prioritizing ownership over consumption. The discipline of choosing assets that work for you instead of spending on things that disappear. Second, the mastery of delayed gratification. The ability to resist the temptation of short-term pleasure in order to unlock the power of long-term compounding. When you put these two habits together, you begin to understand why the gap between the wealthy and the average person keeps widening over time. It's not always about income or intelligence. It's about playing a different game. Millionaires are not working for money. They are teaching money to work for them. They are not seduced by today's comfort. They are focused on tomorrow's freedom. And the beautiful thing is, these habits are not reserved for a chosen few. They are accessible to anyone willing to adopt them with consistency and discipline. Think of your financial life as a series of choices. Every dollar that comes into your hands can either be consumed and forgotten, or planted and multiplied. Every decision to indulge now or invest for later shapes your future in ways that may not be visible today, but will be undeniable tomorrow. It's like building a fortress brick by brick. At first it seems slow, even invisible. But over time, the walls rise, and eventually you stand inside something strong, secure, and lasting. Real wealth is never loud. It doesn't need to shout for attention. It grows silently in bank accounts, in properties, in investments, in businesses, and most importantly, in the mindset of the person who has mastered these habits. If you commit to ownership and delayed gratification, you're not just adopting financial strategies, you are embracing a new identity. You're choosing to step out of the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and into the mindset of builders, creators, and investors. So ask yourself today, are your habits aligned with the future you want? Or are they keeping you trapped in the same patterns as everyone else? If you truly want to change your financial destiny, it won't come from waiting for luck or chasing quick wins. It will come from mastering the same hidden habits that millionaires practice in silence every single day. Now, here's your next step. Don't let this video be just another piece of information you consume and forget. Choose one action you can take this week to move closer to ownership. Maybe it's buying your first share of stock. Maybe it's starting a small side business. Or maybe it's as simple as delaying one unnecessary purchase and redirecting that money into something that grows. One small decision can begin rewriting your story. And finally, if this message resonated with you, make sure you stay connected. Hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below with the wealth habit you're committed to adopting starting today. Because knowledge without action changes nothing, but the moment you act, the path to wealth begins.